You know, and my name is Ryan Hannigan. Starting a little project. I am investing $5,000 of my parents' money, and I'm going to try to make as much money as I can for them by September of this year. My parents have a couple weddings coming up. Brother and sister are both getting married, and so I want to help them out. I want to try to, like I said, just grow this $5,000 as much as I can. A little bit about me. I manage all my own money except for a 401k that I invest in through my employer, which I invest into up to the match and nothing more. But I don't have a bank account. I manage all my own money. Um, my investment style, trading style is not something that your typical financial advisor would advise their clients to do. Uh, I take a lot of risk. I'm aggressive. I can stomach volatility, just a little bit on my overall um, theses and what I see in the markets. And I won't get too far into that. I want to save that for a different video, but I am a massive commodity bull. I have been for the last few years. You know, anybody that will listen, friends, family, I've been shouting from the rooftops that we are on the cusp of a generational commodity run. And I think you're already seeing it start to take off with gold and silver. And, you know, I am heavily invested in those sectors, heavily invested in uranium, nuclear energy, heavily invested in the metal space, rare earths. And so I can get all into that in a different video, but you know, that is the vast majority of my portfolio. Um, Again, I could stomach volatility. I wouldn't advise other people to do so, because, you know, there is a psychology that you have to have that I have, learned to adopt, over the last few years. So, I also do, buy call options, and so I do um, leverage those as well. So, um, kind of exciting to use this $5,000 of my parents to just essentially trade. It's I'm not treating it as I would my current portfolio just because their time frame. The goal is to turn it into grow it as quickly as possible, quite frankly. And so um, areas where in my main portfolio I would maybe hold on to, even though I could see a pullback at a technical level, I'm going to be faster to sell some of these positions and rotate them into other positions. I am going to use a little bit more leverage on a ratio basis than I would in my main portfolio. I'm not going to, you know, it's only $5,000. So, but I am using some options to try to get them some leverage and grow the account as fast as possible. So, let's get into it. Um, mm, let's see here. Bear with me here. I don't, this is my first video. So, all right. So here is my parents. You can see mom and dad there. This is their portfolio. Um, I started out with $5,000 November 25th. So currently this portfolio has grown to $7,205.41. I know it says the cost basis there is 62.95. Just to show you guys the transaction history, I want to show you $5,000, 11.25. Like I said, I've been buying and selling quite a bunch of different positions, and so um, that's why it says the cost total cost basis is a little bit higher than the 5,000. But So started out with $5,000. I'm at 7,205 now. So up pretty, what about 45% since they've in about 2 months. So not bad. And today I was down $720 in this account. So um, pulled back a little bit today, but I'm not too worried. So I'm gonna go through these positions, and one thing you're gonna notice is these are leveraged positions. They are very they have a high beta to uranium with Centrus Energy. ASP Isotopes is another energy play. They manufacture isotopes for batteries that are used for the space industry and defense applications, but kind of related to the nuclear energy space. I'm very bullish on this company. Um, Encore Energy. I have a position of 1498 right now. I'm up 8% on that position. Um, let's see, just so you guys can see the gains, losses. Um, Centrus Energy up to 18%, ASPI 16%, Encore 8%, Standard Lithium down 3%. I just bought that the other day for them. Um, and then I do have 3 call options open. CDE, I sold half of these call options. I wish in hindsight, I wish I didn't, but the logic behind it was that there was some ETFs rebalancing last week, and you didn't see really that rebalancing impact the silver stocks like some thought that it would. But I did sell half the options at a little bit of a profit, held on to the other half, and they've done quite well since, up under 19% on those options. And then Venture Global, they are a uh, liquefied natural gas company, um, up 33% on those options. And then I have Oklo here, some short dated options, 213. At least I would consider them short dated. Most of my options I push out 4 to 6 months. But Oklo taking it on the chin so far, down 42%. But anybody that knows options will knows that um, the price fluctuation is it can be pretty volatile. So we could wake up tomorrow morning, Oklo could be plus 42% and VG could be minus 33%. That's just how options work, because the option contracts, you're getting leverage to basically 100 uh, shares of the stock. So um, just going to kind of walk you guys through my logic on this. I'm going to show some charts, but part of the reason um, I was able to, or I felt comfortable buying these positions where they were at, is because most of them had large pullbacks. Okay, so LEU is, I'll pull up this chart here. So uh, let's see, pull up my mom and dad's watch list. So LEU, I mean, pull up the chart. Uranium's had a huge, massive pullback. LEU, one of the most bullish uranium stocks, in my opinion. I mean, it's pulled back from 463, and I got them at 267. So I think there's a ton of upside in this. And when I bought it at 263, um, it was sitting on support right here. So there wasn't a lot of risk to the downside at this time, and so I felt good about buying it. I actually bought it in my own portfolio at that time too. ASP Isotopes. This is a stock I think could go up 3 to 400% this year. It's about, again, 50% off its highs. And I think this has a ton of upside. So I'm very bullish on ASPI. Encore Energy, it's not as volatile a stock. It's not going to move as much, but I got this stock um, at $2.85. And again, I just think that was a time where it was sitting on a lot of support right here. Um, I felt like uranium was gonna move. The pullback was over, and so I think this is a relatively lower risk play that it could double to triple, um, by September. So um, Standard Lithium, silver and uranium have run quite a bit. I don't think they're done, and I think the equities actually have a lot to catch up on. But I also think that you're going to see very similar runs in a lot of these commodity stocks and the commodities themselves. I think the next two commodities to run. I think uranium and I think copper. Um, and then the third one, yeah, I think they're honestly all going to run, but um, my three most bullish positions for 2026 would be um, uranium, copper, and lithium. So um, the Standard Lithium, it's a domestic lithium play. It's sitting right on top of support, and I think it's getting ready to make a pretty big run. Again, this is a stock that I bought around the same price in my main portfolio too, just recently. So, I think a price target for this. I don't want to get too far into technical analysis right now, but um, I think this is a stock that could be up 200 or 300% by the end of the year. So. Um, those are my four equity positions. And now this is where I'm getting a little bit risky. We're doing well. So I am taking a little bit of risk here with these options. So, Core Mining Company, I want to open up this stock. Um, this is one of my largest positions in my main account, and if there's a ton of short interest on this stock, and it has been lagging the silver the other silver mining companies pretty dramatically. And it is the shorts, you can just, if you watch this stock, and I watch it every day, it is just it's grinding out higher, but it has been a battle. And we are just on the cusp of breaking out to new all-time highs. Um, Sorry, not all-time highs, but a, a more than decade high. And once that happens, I think it's going to run significantly. And so the reason that I did take out these options, and I have large options on this stock in my other account too, is I think the silver mining companies have been lagging silver. The market has been waiting to see if this silver spike is for real, or if it's just going to fall off a cliff right away like it did in the 1970s when the Hunt brothers had that squeeze, and as it's prone to do. I think this is a regime change. I think that uh, there's going to be pullbacks in silver, the price of silver. There's no doubt, but I think this is we're at a we're at the point where I think all commodities are going to be elevated for a very long time. Um, the silver miners are just catching up. The market's trying to make sure that that's actually going to happen, and I think you're starting to see money flood into the space. So I think that's core mining, one of the larger producers. They also are exposed to gold. A lot of companies are. Silver is really a byproduct. There's not really any pure silver companies out there. But yeah, I think these options are going to run quite a bit, and we're positioned. Hopefully we only have 10 days to have them. So if we do get a big spike here this week, this should be some nice gains here. So VG just came across this stock online as I was reading through Twitter, did some research, and it's breaking out. It's putting in a bottom, starting to curl up. Uh, I think I think that natural gas I saw was going to bounce. So natural gas, if you go to my Twitter, which is just my name, Ryan Hannigan, I actually said I think natural gas is going to bounce a couple of days ago, and sure enough, today, I think I said that on Friday, and then today it was up 25%. Um, so I did take out positions last Thursday and Friday in Comstock Resources, um, and uh, and also I am starting to nibble on some oil companies as well. But yeah, I saw natural gas was going to jump, and it was all the way down here. It's getting cold out. um, that's it sounds funny, but I mean, natural gas is heavily levered to the weather. And there was just a lot of support down here. I thought it was a good time to. I saw some of the equities starting to turn, and sure enough, it broke out of this little wedge pattern here today. 25% is a pretty massive move, and so anyway, I knew VG I thought would benefit from that. Um, Similar to the natural gas price, VG was seemed like it was bottoming, and um, what I do with the options, and this is just my strategy, I look for companies that have pulled back. They are coming out of a falling wedge pattern. That's kind of what we have here. It's not the cleanest pattern. You could make an argument that it actually hasn't broken out yet. Um, but with that being said, it's still um, it's making its way up. And what's really attractive for me is this gap right here. So if we can push through and get a close at 9 in the $10 range, above this, I think you're going to see this gap close very quickly, and you're going to see a run to $12, close to $13 in pretty short order. So, um, if that happens, if it happens before 227, I think you're going to see these options priced at 500-600%. So uh, we'll see. That's what made. I think it was a low risk entry down here at really the all time lows, and it just saw it coming up. It's starting to get buying pressure to the upside. So that was my thought process on VG, and then Oklo. So Oklo, I have a long relationship with Oklo. I originally bought this when I came across a zero hedge article a year and a half ago, a little less, and I bought it at $8. I sold it off at 32, then bought back in during the Liberation Day, and I bought back in heavy, basically at $32. So I really rode it up from $8 back in um, over here. So way over here. Yeah, I was buying in October 2025 for $8. I rode this bad boy up essentially all the way to $194 and then rode it all the way back down here. Um, I took a little bit of profit on the way, but not much. I mean, the vast majority of my position is still intact, and that's what I'm talking about when I can handle volatility. Um, you know, I want my core positions in these companies for the long term, so that when I do sell them or do exit, um, I don't have to pay the 25 long term, short term capital gains. So um, the my core positions I try to hang on to as much as I can, and cost average in, and it's more of an investment strategy. But um, it did come down here. It broke out of this falling wedge, and I freaking love this chart. We'll see if it plays out, but this is a classic inverse head and shoulders pattern. So it broke out of a falling wedge. This is usually where I like to buy options. It did pull back and do um, form this head and did drop a little bit further than I originally thought it might. Um, but it came back up. Now it's taken a pullback. I just bought these options in Aklo for my parents expiring 213. I at 106. So it is this is a volatile stock. I we'll see what happens. I'm playing I really think that that Aklo is on the cusp of a big move. Again, we'll see if it plays out. Um, it's been a battle between the buyers and settles. Like today, it started out down 5%, recaptured, and at some point it was up to about 4 or 5%, and then it ended up down 5%. So it's a volatile stock, but breaking out of a falling wedge here. This is an inverse head and shoulders, and um, I think we're gonna run. It's lagged the rest of the nuclear stocks like the high beta clean energy stocks like Bloom Energy, which I just mentioned, that had a nice run. ASPI, that's had a nice run. Lightbridge, that's had a nice run. So I think that in the short term, and this is risky. The short term, anything can happen. So this very easily could not play out, and these options could expire worthless. In which case, I'll hopefully the rest of them turn out. But I notice I do only have $717, which is relative to the rest of the portfolio, not um, a really large position. And again, I'm playing a little bit with house money, so I'm being aggressive with this portfolio, trying to grow it as much as I can, and so I'm going to take risk. If eh, you know, um, at the end of the day, it's high risk, low risk, high reward. It's only $5,000, but it can go a long way to help my parents, um, help out my brother and sister for their wedding. So um, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna try to update this maybe a couple times a week and see where we go. I don't think that these videos won't last this long. I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up to speed on where I'm at, and also really doing this as a project to hold myself accountable to. So um, I think that's it. I appreciate everybody following. Um, if anybody's following along, and uh, I will be in touch. Take care.